Hello there, people who are reading this story. I found out about women sharing their nightmare mother-in-law stories here, and I thought I would add mine as well. My story is a little unique since, along with a bad mother-in-law, I have a bad sister-in-law as well. My husband, Rhett, belongs to a very good family. They were pretty rich, and he had grown up privileged. He was a great student in college and eventually landed a high-figured job. Meanwhile, I come from a very poor family and didn't get much in life. I never went to college and worked minimum wage jobs since high school. However, my hustle has paid off and now I have what I consider a pretty decent job. Rhett and I are just perfect for each other. We love each other deeply and had a very good life even before marriage. However, his mother Kate and sister Lola never thought I was enough for him. From the very beginning of our relationship, they would constantly demean me and put me down. They would say, "I hope you know this is all temporary, Brielle. My brother's just testing the waters and dating you casually. He would never actually get serious with you." I'm not sure you got that right, Lola. Rhett loves me and I love him too. We are pretty serious since we have already been together for 4 years. Actually, we have been talking about weddings too. Mom, did you hear that? Brielle thinks Rhett will marry her. Can you believe her audacity? Kate and Lola laughed while I sat there dumbfounded. Rhett was on a phone call in a different room, so he wasn't there to shut them up. I was sitting there watching them make fun of me while hinting that Rhett wasn't serious about me. I was very confused and also a little humiliated. I said, "What's the matter, guys? Why are you laughing?" "Oh, God, you are so stupid. No wonder you couldn't do anything in life. Do you think my son will marry you? Have you ever seen yourself? Look at us. And look at you, Brielle. We have a high status and Rhett is a super successful man. Do you really think he would settle down with a loser like you?" Kate and Lola kept laughing at me while I had tears in my eyes. Yes, it was true that I was out of Rhett's league, but the love we had for each other was pure. That's why Rhett chose to pursue a real relationship with me. Hearing them poke at my insecurities was horrible, but I didn't do or say anything in return. You may think that I was stupid for not standing up for myself. You see, I simply didn't know how to do it. No one ever supported me or gave me the strength to stand up for myself. Rhett was the only one who cared. I didn't want to ruin his relationship with his family, so I kept quiet. That didn't mean Rhett didn't pick up on their behavior. He tried to stand up for me, but also let some things go because I asked him to. Rhett didn't have a father and my parents were already deceased, so I considered them the only family we had, no matter how horrible they were to me. For years, I tried to make Lola and Kate change their mind about me. I did everything that I could think of, but nothing worked. They would throw away the gifts I gave them because they were cheap. They would humiliate me in front of their friends when they had the chance. They even tried to set up dates for Rhett so that he would leave me. They kept trying all these things till we announced our engagement. On that day, Kate and Lola just went mad. They pulled me aside in private and said, "Don't you dare think that we will let you marry my son. This wedding is never going to happen." "Kate, we are engaged, and we have already set the date. Why are you being this way? I promise I will keep Rhett happy for the rest of my life." "Oh, please, he will never be happy with you. He needs someone to match his level, and you are just plain trash. Mark my words, Brielle. We will stop this wedding one way or another." They had even talked to Rhett in private, although not this aggressively. When Rhett made it clear that he would be with no one else, they gave up. Things were suspiciously quiet while we planned the wedding. I was starting to think that he had finally given up. I was wrong, guys. They had plans of their own. They weren't kidding when they said that they would stop the wedding. It was a few months before the wedding when I went to my closet to take out my wedding dress. I hadn't bought a veil, so I wanted to take a look at the dress to see what would match it. When I opened the closet, I saw that my dress was nowhere to be found. Guys, my heart had dropped. It was a cheap gown, but it was all I could afford. I wanted to pay for it with my own money, so I didn't pay a lot for it. Still, it was my wedding gown, and I didn't know what to do if I couldn't find it. I searched the house for hours before breaking down in tears, and then I scrolled through our security camera footage to see if I could catch something. Guess what I saw there? Yes, it was Kate and Lola taking my wedding dress out of my closet and going home with it. They had a spare key, so they got in just fine. The moment I saw the clips, my mind went into overdrive. I was angry, sad, and hurt. I just didn't have it in me to forgive them this time. I was a crying mess for a while before I decided to do something. I told Rhett to leave the office early and tell his mother and sister to come over as well. He knew something was wrong but didn't say anything. After an hour, Kate and Lola walked in with a ridiculous smirk on their faces. They took one look at my red, puffy eyes and started to grin at each other. Then, pretending like nothing happened, they made themselves home on my couch. I turned to them and said, "Rhett will be home soon, but before that, I need to talk to you two." "I don't think you have anything to tell us, Brielle." "Yes, we are not interested in whatever small talk you have in mind." "There will be no small talk, guys. I simply have some questions I need answers to. What did you two do with my dress?" "I don't know what you're talking about, Brielle. What dress?" "My wedding dress is missing, and I know for a fact that you two are behind this." Kate and Lola hadn't expected me to accuse them outright. Their expression gave it away. I guess the fault lies with me because I had been such a doormat when it came to them. I should have enforced my boundaries more aggressively and shouldn't have given them the space to humiliate me. But now they had tested my limits and I had lost all patience. This was a metaphorical war and I wasn't going to back down. My expression must have scared both Kate and Lola. They gulped, but then immediately started to act angry. Lola actually stood up and started to scream at me. She said, "How dare you accuse us of stealing your dress? Are you calling me and my mom thieves? Who gave you the right to throw accusations at us like that?" "So, you are going to deny my claims that you two have taken my wedding gown?" "Absolutely, Brielle. We are not thieves. We come from a high-class family and wouldn't steal from anyone, let alone someone like you." "Do you think your wedding dress was made of gold and diamonds? Why the hell would we steal something so cheap and tacky for ourselves?" "I have no idea why you took my wedding dress, Lola, but there is no use denying that you didn't do it. You and your mom both took my dress, and God knows what you did with it. If you know what's the right thing to do, you will confess to it." Lola and Kate both looked a little shocked at my cold behavior. They weren't used to seeing this side of mine. I tried to be caring and forgiving towards people. Some may consider this my weakness, but it is what it is. I try to be patient and kind, but not when people are repeatedly testing my limits. What Lola and Kate did was unforgivable no matter what they had planned to do with my gown. The mother-daughter duo soon realized that I wasn't going to get intimidated by them. I kept telling them to confess while they kept shouting at me and denying everything. I wasn't yelling at them or revealing any information about the proof I had. I let them scream at me so that my fiancé could come home and see how his family was behaving. Just as Lola and Kate kept yelling at me. Rhett walked into the house. He was already looking very concerned, especially since I had told him to come home early. When he saw his mother and sister yelling at me, he was even more confused and concerned. He said, "What is going on here? Mom, Lola, why are you two shouting at my fiancé?" "Rhett, your wife is making some unfounded and serious accusations against us. We can't believe you chose a girl like her." "Mom, we always knew Brielle was a bad choice for Rhett, but he wouldn't even listen to us. Look at us now, Mom. We have to listen to Rhett's horrible fiancé accuse us of being thieves." Rhett looked a little taken aback when Lola mentioned me calling them thieves. I don't even know why they were accusing me of calling them thieves. I never said they stole anything. I simply said that they had taken my dress. It was Kate and Lola who kept saying that they hadn't stolen my stuff. Our subconscious can sometimes really give away secrets that are within us. Anyway, Rhett was rightfully confused about this entire situation. He said, "Wait a minute, guys. Did you say that Brielle accused you two of stealing something?" "That is right, Rhett. Your wife has been humiliating us by calling us thieves. I never thought I would have someone treat me like this, let alone my soon-to-be daughter-in-law. She has no respect for me. You need to do something, Rhett. You can't let your wife get away with this horrible behavior. Your family doesn't deserve it. Brielle, you need to tell me what's going on. I'm getting really confused right now. Did you accuse Lola and my mom of stealing anything? I knew Rhett would be a reasonable person and actually ask me for details instead of jumping to conclusions, and he did exactly that. Ignoring his family's outrage, he first asked me what was going on. He wanted to know the full story before saying or doing something. I quietly looked at Rhett and said, Rhett, my wedding dress is missing. I went to the closet to check and it wasn't there. Would you look at that, Rhett? Your fiancée had lost her freaking wedding gown and is blaming us for it. She was irresponsible and is now trying to pass off the blame. I can't believe how shallow you can be, Brielle. I bet you're lying about us because you want us to pay for a more expensive wedding dress as a replacement. Yes, I always knew she was a gold digger. This is a freaking loser who couldn't make it big and is now finding ways to use others. Kate and Lola were still insulting me after literally stealing my wedding dress. Their audacity just made my blood boil. I just wanted to strangle them with my bare hands. I hadn't been so angry in my whole life. They kept on humiliating me until Rhett finally spoke up again. Will you guys please stop insulting my fiancé for a minute and let me talk? This is not a simple matter and I don't want anyone to jump to conclusions. Brielle, do you think Mom and Lola took your dress? Rhett, I know they took my dress. I'm not making any baseless assumptions, and I certainly didn't call them thieves. I simply told them I knew they jumped on me. Do you have any proof that they stole your dress? You seem to be awfully confident about it. There has to be a reason. Yes, Rhett, I have proof that they stole it. I wouldn't have made those accusations out of the blue. Now, when I said that I had proof of the theft, Lola and Kate looked pretty nervous. They hadn't considered the fact that I may have proof of them stealing the dress. They should have thought about it, though. It was almost common sense at this point. Too bad they forgot one crucial detail when they came to steal my dress. Lola and Kate didn't know what proof I had, but they were still nervous. So they started to shout at me again. Rhett, you shouldn't believe a word she says. She's just trying to trap us. You can't just let her manipulate you into thinking what she wants you to think. That's right, Rhett. You have to listen to Mom. Brielle is just trying to trick you. She has no proof that we did anything. If she has no proof, you need to calm down. There is no reason for you to worry. They won't calm down because they know they are in trouble. Rhett, our surveillance system caught Lola and Kate walking out with my wedding dress when I wasn't home. It's on the Ring doorbell camera as well. Yes, those stupid people forgot the basic fact that we had a surveillance system at our house. There were cameras outside the house and in the hallways. Kate and Lola must have forgotten about them. I pulled up the security footage that I had saved and showed them to Rhett. Kate and Lola now knew that they were in serious trouble. Their faces went pale and they started to look at each other nervously. Rhett saw the whole footage and then looked at his family with a super angry expression. He even sounded mad when he said, "How do you two think we can explain this, guys?" "It's not what it looks like, Rhett. We were just—" "No, I don't want any more lies coming out of your mouth. I've had enough of you two trying to sabotage my wedding and humiliate my wife. You need to tell me exactly what is going on." Lola looked a little unsure while Kate was struggling to keep it together. I guess all this was too much for her, and when Rhett sided with me, the dam broke. Kate literally yelled at Rhett with a good amount of venom in her voice. She said, "Are you happy now, Rhett? I confess to it. Lola and I came up with the plan and did it together." "What the hell, Mom? Why would you guys even do that?" "What do you mean, why, Rhett? We've been telling you for ages that Brielle is not right for you." "Oh, really? Then tell me why Brielle is not right for me. I will be thrilled to know the root cause of what happened today. She's a freaking loser who didn't even go to college and works a stupid job. She's not a good fit for our high-class family. You know that, Rhett. You need to cancel the wedding since we won't allow you to marry a loser. Excuse me, Mom? You think Brielle is not high class while you two are? Does stealing someone else's things fall under the activities of high class people? Kate and Lola were shocked to hear Rhett turn on them so easily. They hadn't expected him to talk to them this way. Rhett, like me, was also a soft-spoken person, but can be a force to be reckoned with when angry. They were now seeing the angry side of Rhett, and both of them should have shut up at this point, but they continued. They said, "I can't believe you're siding with that loser woman, Brielle. She's not worthy of this, Rhett. She's even taking you away from your family now. Oh, God, what has happened to my son? This witch has done something to him. Rhett, just look at the way you're speaking to us. Don't teach me how I can talk to you two. You stole my fiancé's wedding dress and didn't even apologize to her. Instead, you are now yelling at me and telling me how you did this for my own good. You are freaking crazy. You have to be kidding, Rhett. You can't expect us to apologize to a loser like her. And we can't, in the right conscience, let you marry that woman. You can't choose a high school graduate with a loser job over your own family, Rhett. This is ridiculous." "Stop! Both of you will stop right now. I have had enough of you two insulting my fiancée for no reason. She is not a loser. You want to know who the real losers are? It's you two who freaking stole from my fiancé. You don't want me to marry a loser? Well, I don't want losers at my wedding. Consider yourselves uninvited." Kate and Lola were shocked while I was screaming with happiness inside my head. Rhett had finally done it. He was putting bigger boundaries between us and his family. He wasn't going to let them go anyway. He was going to teach them a nice lesson that they would remember. Kate and Lola were now in utter disbelief. They didn't expect Rhett to retaliate so badly. They started to cry and said, "What the hell, Rhett? Are you disinviting your own family to your wedding? How can you do this to us?" "What's the problem, Mom? I thought you didn't want to come to my wedding at all. Did you really think I would listen to you and just cancel my wedding?" "You are not thinking straight, Rhett. We are your family. If you go ahead with the wedding and uninvite us, there will be consequences." "Right. We won't be able to even look at you again. I'm afraid we would have to part ways here." "That's fine with me. I don't want you in my life any more either. The way you disrespected my wife and tried to sabotage my wedding was too much. I don't think I have any interest in keeping connections anymore." "Rhett, what are you saying? You will cut us off?" "Yes, I will, Mom. I will go no contact with both you and Lola. You can keep your high-class life while I will keep the family I will create with Brielle." Oh, yes, I'm so proud of my fiancé. He was just reminding me of all the reasons why I fell in love with him. Rhett had truly developed a shiny spine and was not afraid to show it to his family. Kate and Lola were in disbelief, but slowly everything sunk in. Now they changed their tone completely and started to beg Rhett not to do that to them. They were dependent on him for a lot of things, and Rhett cutting them off would have even more serious consequences for them. So they started to plead with him. In the end, they said, "Fine. If you are so adamant about marrying Brielle, we will support you. We will do everything to keep you in our lives. Yes, we will apologize to Brielle and even return the dress. We can put this past us and have a fresh beginning." "There is no use telling me this right now. It won't work on me. Brielle is the main victim here. You should ask her for mercy if you want me to even consider having you in my life." Fine, we will do that. Brielle, we are sorry for what we have done. Please forgive us and tell Rhett to forgive us too." Kate and Lola were pleading with me and looking at me expectantly. One lifetime ago I would have forgiven them, but not anymore. Rhett made the right decision in cutting them off, and I was completely on board with him. He even looked directly at me and said, "What do you say, Brielle? Will you forgive them and let things go?" "Actually, no. I won't let things go, and I won't certainly forgive them. In fact, I'm happy with the decision you made." "Well, that settles it then. You two need to get out and never come back. Don't bother showing up to the wedding because you won't be allowed in." Kate and Lola started to cry and beg us to forgive them. They were losing their piggy bank, which was Rhett. I guess they had thought Rhett would remain single or marry someone even richer so that they could have a good life. Looks like their dreams were all crushed now. No amount of begging or pleading got us to change our minds. We were determined not to forgive them. Word spread fast, and everyone got to know what Kate and Lola had done. Initially, they had tried to recruit extended family members to agree with their logic. However, when the full story came out, they were shunned by everyone. Rhett was super pissed at them and didn't want anything to do with them. Kate and Lola had showed up at the house to return my dress, but he had told them to keep it. Later, he tripled my wedding dress budget and helped me get a new one. Don't worry, he didn't see it at the wedding. He was just there to pay because he knew I would refuse. Despite Kate and Lola's best efforts, Rhett and I got married. It was truly a beautiful day, and I didn't have to worry about anything. There was a small fiasco when Kate and Lola showed up crying to be let in, but we didn't even know that till the reception. Our extended family and venue security took care of it and kicked them out. We had an amazing day, and it's been 6 months since we got married. Kate and Lola still tried to reach out because they had to tone down their lifestyle since Rhett wasn't giving them extra money. They kept crying and telling Rhett how they were miserable. However, instead of making Rhett sad for them, he was even more infuriated. He now realized that his mom and sister only cared about this money and nothing else. Anyway, we're still in no contact no matter how many texts and calls they leave us. I'm enjoying my married life while they are desperately trying to get back into our good graces.